And I dropped the dumbbells. Then my left arm started shaking. And my mate goes, "What's wrong?" It wouldn't stop shaking, like trembling like this. I've got to go get it checked out. So I went to the doctors, family doctor, neurologist. I was shattered.
So we're looking at 13.
Yeah.
Whoa, on a daily basis.
Every day. Well, I used to have 8-9 hours sleep in one go, wake up, and it's like, oh, I've had 9 hours, but I haven't had that in years. I decided to compete with bodybuilding 2 years ago because...
If you haven't already, please smash the subscribe button. We're on a mission to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. So,
subscribe.
Guys, thank you very much for doing that. I'm here today with Massud Chopan, a professional bodybuilder who kind of came into the world of Lucas podcast almost by accident, I would say. But I don't believe in accidents. I believe that we were kind of meant to align and this story was meant to be told. And I was really excited for you to be a part of this show, man. So firstly, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. Of course. So yeah, as I was kind of we were talking a little bit off air, you came to my shop at Chorizo Chasers.
Yeah, I was just with the missus and we come to Wetherill Park a few times. Like they have the car show and all that, and we just wanted to get a feed. And I was like, oh man, I want to get Chorizo Chasers. Having for like those nice, beautiful rib steak burgers and the egg and the meat and the
we've got it all, man. And
we were just there and we just had a feed and your father was cooking away on the grill and looking after me and just giving me a plate. I'm like, yeah, this is mad. This is the best. I love my meat.
I have to admit, bro, I think you have the Chorizo Chasers record for the most asada boards eaten. So if you guys at home who don't know, an asada board is like this intense platter of meat. I'm talking ribs, chorizo, salad, chips, bread, the whole lot. Like we take care of you on one of them. I've never met someone who could smash out two.
You want to know something? The 2 plates that I smashed, meat, it was so tasty, beautiful meat, tenderized meat. The next day when I trained the shoulders, man, I had one of the best pumps. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm going back there again.
We're here to support your gains, bro.
Yeah,
we're here to support your gains.
That's how we get the gains, bro.
100%. But on more of a serious note, I was really, in the small interaction that we had, because we only spoke for about 10, 15 minutes, I was really fascinated by your story and by the kind of the journey that you've gone under. So clearly, just by looking at you, I can tell you work out like crazy. And from there, I kind of learned that you compete as well, and you've had quite a successful career as a natural bodybuilder in the IFBB, which is IFBB, which is absolutely nuts because IFBB is an association that is dominated by people that use steroids or that use performance-enhancing drugs, and for you to do it naturally is incredible. So props to you for that.
Thank you. And also, I've done this with I've been diagnosed with young onset Parkinson's about 2015, and that was what happened was I was training at the gym one day because I've been training for about 14 years. I've been training for quite a while. I was bench pressing with my mate Joe and doing incline presses, and we were doing 60, 65s because I used to do powerlifting strongman. I didn't start off. How it all started is my old man had got me into landscaping and doing the garden and digging garden beds, and then I started to get into, when I left school, I just started to finish in 2001, I finished year 2000 Ascot Boys High School. Then I started to do weight training, and then I decided I love weights, and then I got into strongman, and then I was doing the log lifts, the super yoke, and the farmer's walk, and all that. And then
so I'm not too familiar with the strongman competitions. Like I've pretty much only spoken to bodybuilders that kind of stay in that lane. So what's the difference between bodybuilding and strongman?
Well, strongman, you're lifting a lot of weight and you're eating large, like enormous amounts of food.
That makes sense for two asada boards.
You're not, like in bodybuilding competitions, you've got to watch what you eat. Yeah. And you've got to watch your physique. Where powerlifting, you've got to eat so much to push the weight and be mentally focused.
Right, okay.
Where bodybuilding, you're doing like higher, mainly strength with higher reps, but you sort of watch what you're eating, where strongman, you can just eat whatever you want to be. You don't have to be a certain weight. You just have to eat a fair bit to push the weight.
Right.
What happened was, going back to that day at Millennium Gym at Waitara when I was training with my Lebanese mate, Joe, I was lifting the 65 incline presses and I did a set of 6 reps and I dropped the dumbbells. Then my left arm started shaking. So it started shaking and my mate goes, "What's wrong?" It wouldn't stop shaking, like trembling like this. It's like, "I don't know." He goes, "Bro, I've got to go get it checked out." So I went to the doctors, family doctor, neurologist. They did CT scans and then I went to the neurologist and they told me in like October, November 2015 that Dr. Agar or Arun from Hornsby neurologist said, "Mate, you're diagnosed with young onset Parkinson's disease." And I was shattered. I was like, and then I'll go, "Look, I didn't know much about Parkinson's. All I know, Muhammad Ali, the legend, he had Parkinson's disease, but I didn't know what it really was about and how it can have a huge impact on your life." And I decided, like, then I started getting medicated and all that. And then when I went, I decided, like, look, I'm not going to let this, I'm still going to want to train. I'm not going to let nothing beat me, man. Like, I'm still want to. So I said, you know what? I've got this disease. Another thing is, how long I got to live? Like, I'm thinking, like, is it going to kill me? Like, what is, I knew nothing much about Parkinson's. All I knew is Muhammad Ali cop. You know how he got
so
Parkinson's.
It had never run in your family or anything like that?
No, never ran in the family, never just got diagnosed with it. And I was working as on the doors in the nightclubs and pubs. So I decided to continue work as much as I could, live my normal life with Parkinson's. And I was working on the doors like at all the clubs and pubs in the CBD and all that. I've been doing it since 2001, 2002. So all I was been doing is like gym, train, eat, sleep, work on doors. Like gym, sleep, train, work on. That was my lifestyle. Sleeping in, training, coming home, having dinner, going to work, the same routine, like for 6 nights for 17, 18 years on the doors.
Wow.
So I've seen a lot of shit on the doors. Like, I've seen people get stabbed. I've seen people get bashed. I've been in nightclubs where shit's hit the fan, and you got to look after each other's back. You got the guards you look after. You got to make sure that the patrons are safe, the staff.
What
are safe.
area were you?
I was situated mainly in Parramatta City, western suburbs, all across. Over probably 1,000 licensed venues.
Yeah.
Over 18 years. But the thing is, you get in that comfort zone. The fact that you could, like, I'm not an office person. I've never been like into school. Or like, all I've been knowing is just going out, having fun, going to clubs. So that's why I was in that scene. But so what I decided to do is to not let the disease beat me, and keep training and keep focused. And I just I just said, I may as well enter a bodybuilding competition, and I decided to with Parkinson's, it's a cruel disease. You can't let it beat you. You got to beat it, and by training was the hardest thing, right? Because when I was going to the gym when I first got diagnosed, obviously the left hand was shaking. So everything I'd lift, like my technique and form was not very good, because controlling the weight with the left hand that shakes and the right hand, like if you're doing a dumbbell press, the right hand's going up, the left hand's not going up. So what I had to do to do exercises to stabilize it is to do machines, weighted machines. So I did machines for 3 years. And then all I was doing was machines. And one day I was at the Snap Fitness at Bondi Junction, training there. And there was this big Tongan dude. He was doing the 50s and he was doing it like 10 to 12 reps. And I'm thinking, I'm just sitting on the machine now. Man, it's been a while I've done. Let me give it a go, free weights. Mate, I jumped on the flat bench, done a 20 kilo dumbbell, 10 reps. My arm wasn't shaking, the technique was fine, it was formal. I was like, man, that's all right. So I grabbed the 30s, I did about 10, and then grabbed the 40s and did about 8. And even though I did 8 and 40 kilo dumbbells, it was like mad. Like I was jumping up and down, like cheering, going, yes, because I couldn't do that. Like I had to train the brain because it's all linked. Brain, muscle, nerves, they all link, and it helped. And then I just started training hard.
What was your doctors and your neurologists' immediate response to that? Did they say to you to ease off the training? Did they say for you to double down on it?
No,
All right, guys, we need to stop for a second because I want to ask you something. Do you know what the number one regret is for a human being? It's not betting on themselves. It's not taking a chance, and it's not chasing that dream that you often see discussed on this show. And do you know what the number one reason as to why people don't do that? It's because of money. But if there's anything I want you to take away from this podcast, it's that you can go and chase your dreams. You can travel the world. You can start the next Fortune 500 company. That's why I'm super excited to announce that I've partnered with Monarch Financial Group. Monarch Financial Group are a team of mortgage brokers who are absolutely committed to making sure you get access to the money that you need and the education that you need. They've got teams of mortgage brokers with over 10 years of industry experience. And that experience goes towards fighting tooth and nail to make sure that you get the best deal possible. So it's time to stop procrastinating on that dream. It's time to go to monarchfinancialgroup.com.au. Make sure to mention Luca's podcast in the process.
They said just take it easy at training.
Right.
But when I train, I don't just like go in there and just take it easy. Like I always go, I put in 100%. Whatever I do with sports, bro. Whether it's basketball, funny you mention this because I'm an all-round sports person. Like I'm not just bodybuilding. Like I can play for over 35s. I played a few trial games for Queen's Park Division 1, and
soccer or rugby,
like football. Yeah, soccer.
Yeah, nice.
And I'm like the guy that comes in on as a substitute and just goes to diving headers, scoring goals. I haven't lost the touch. Whether it's a basketball, I haven't played in 18, 20 years back in school, and I played against this guy that was near at the casino. There's a basketball courts near the casino, the Star, and my missus was there, and my daughter got out of the car, and this tall dude, like big dude, was shooting hoops. And then I'll go to my missus and I said, look, you guys go to the Star. And he goes, come have a few shots, like you want to come have it? Okay, yeah, all right. Go in there. I'll meet you. We're going to have dinner at the casino. I said to my missus, you go, I'll come, I'll just have a few play around. So I was speaking to this guy. He's a 16-year-old NBL player. And he's tall, he's very good. And, he goes, we're shooting some hoops and passing the ball around. You want to have one-on-one game? Yeah, bro. I give him a one-on-one game. He beats me 8-5. 8-5.
8-5's not that much.
Oh no, I get like
That's competitive.
See, with me, my shots weren't very good because I'm a bit rusty. I haven't played in like 18, 20 years. Mm-hmm. But my defense and my attack and going for the layups and just when I defend,
yeah,
I'll put my hands out. And I'll be like, you're not going anywhere. I'm gonna steal the ball off you. I got a couple of steals off you, and he's an NBL player.
Yeah,
whatever I do, if it's my mate that will during lockdown, we're doing some wrestling up at the park near the lakes, East Lakes, where they had the chin up bars where everything was shut, the gyms and that. And he's a purple belt jiu-jitsu, and Serbian mate, and he's given me a go, and like he couldn't get me down, and like because I've done doors and all that, he was getting frustrated that he couldn't get me down, but eventually in the third round he got me down. Good,
Have you had any experience in martial arts before that?
No,
nothing.
You know what it is. When I work on door, I'm not a fighter. I've just got natural instinct. Mm-hmm. I've got that natural, like if this guy's gonna strike at me, I'll know how to take him down.
Right.
Like it's natural instinct. But just because of my size, I'm not much of a striker. I'm more of like a grappler, wrist lock you up. walk you out, restrain you. That's it. That's what you got to use in clubs
and
anyway.
That's probably
force.
the better way of going about it as well, because it just takes. I've said this to the point of nauseum on this show, but it just takes one bad strike for someone to land on the concrete, and that's it.
Exactly,
it's game over. It's happened to a distant friend of mine. It's happened to heaps of people. It's such a dangerous thing. So, having that ability to take someone down in a quote unquote safe manner and then be able to restrain and control the situation is so much more effective. And I'm glad that you as a security guard, and I hope a lot more security guards are taking on this approach when it comes to keeping nightclubs or bars or licensed venues safe, because one night shouldn't determine the rest of your life, right?
Yeah, 100%. You've always got to, when you're working in the when people are on alcohol and drugs and they're all out there, you've got to, it's all about the way you talk and approach people, the way you work with your work colleagues, and what you got to do is work in a good team environment. And you just got to know what you got to do, because a lot of people put pressure when they're on the doors. It's not an easy job.
No, I don't doubt that for a second.
But you've just got to be smart on how you work and how
Have
you
ever considered going into something like jiu-jitsu or wrestling or grappling?
Well, for now, I want to just focus on putting as much size as I can and just be doing bodybuilding. But every now and then, I like to muck around and get out there, and like if there's a boys muck around soccer game. I was just saying, didn't also mention I'm also at tennis.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I'm very good at tennis.
You do it all, man.
I do it all.
You do it all.
No matter, like we were playing muck around with a few boys back at the indoor courts, the indoor soccer courts, and some of the guys play in Super League.
Yeah.
Below A League, and when I mark them, I mark them.
Yeah.
So no matter what I do, what I'm trying to say is, whatever sport I do, whether it's basketball, whether it's football, soccer, or touch footy or whatever, or tennis, I put in 100%. Whether it's sprinting, jogging, like outdoor boot camp, bodybuilding, strongman, wrestling. I've got that. You've got to have that passion.
Do you think your competitive nature was naturally like that from a young age, or do you think as a result of getting the Parkinson's and being put in the physical condition that you're in now, do you feel like you've had to almost double down on that competitive nature?
Well, I think a lot of people tell me, like, when they look at my physique now, they go, I get more compliments now than I've got Parkinson's because when I was doing strongman, I was 104 kilos. Now I'm 78. So obviously I'm ripped now. Then I was bulky. So they're telling me you look a lot better with Parkinson's, but I was strong. Like I was benching 200 kilos to 200 plus dead bench on the bench press.
Jesus.
But
that's so much
I pushed my cousin's Sainz Muchizada, his four-wheel drive Mitsubishi Pajero up a steep hill at the Hornsby Heights house that I lived in. Had a hill like this. He got stuck.
Yeah.
And I pushed his Pajero halfway up the hill into my driveway when his car got stuck.
Whoa, that's a lot.
Yeah. But my portions was huge. Like I was 104 kilos. I probably had about 19.5-inch arms. I was solid, but I had no shape. But and now I think over the years, because what happened was when I was going for my first with my Parkinson's, I decided to compete with bodybuilding 2 years ago because I just wanted to show to myself and to others that look, anything's possible. Well, I went to a Sydney City Gym. They sponsored me, so I've got sponsors from Sydney City Gym. Billy is the owner. He's a legend, because what happened was one day I went with one of my mates. He goes, come on, Massud, look, you should compete. And I was like, nah, what do you mean, like compete? I was like, yeah, you reckon? And I went to the workshop at the City Gym, all the bodybuilding competitors, and I looked at them first, and I said, "Oh man, these guys are big guys." I said, "Hang on a second." I first doubted myself, and later on I said, "Nah, man, train. Keep training and put your mind to it, and go to the next workshop and see how." Next workshop I go, they looked at me. They were like, "Oh yeah, you put on some size." And then another 4 weeks, then there's like workshops, because that workshops are like, they teach you the bodybuilding posing, like all the IFBB competitors, and they teach you, and you have meetings with them, and they tell you what's to be expected and the competitions and all that, and you just practice posing, because bodybuilding is all about posing. You got to have the right pose. You got to do the right pose. So every workshop, I had this thing where I was feeling more confident, and then as the competition came, you know, I managed. I've had no coach. I'm my own coach. Like normally bodybuilders get coaches. I don't have coach. Diet, I just did by myself. I don't measure the amount of grams of protein. Like most people measure how much portion. I just did it by just myself, like planning my own meals and I was eating clean.
Are you doing research behind this as well? Like, are you watching YouTube videos or reading articles about,
No, not really. Just watching bodybuilding training videos when they train, the motivation ones. And basically, eating like smaller portions and just not eating crispy.
That's remarkable, man.
You know, funny you say that. My missus is like, she's like eating double quarter pounders in front of me and Krispy Kremes, and I'm like, get that away, man, get that away. Not now. And like, but every now and then, what you got to do is, when you're bodybuilding, your body actually needs a little bit of that. You can't be too. What I noticed is you can't be too much on the junk side, but you can't be too much. Like, you need a bit of that too.
Yeah.
Like, so there's always a fine line. The cardio is important. So I was managing. So
just give me 1 second. I'm going to turn my phone off. Can you just text him, tell him we're recording at the moment? We'll call him back. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's all right. So what it is when
so I was asking you how you kind of became, because from the bodybuilders that I've interviewed, right, and the people that I've spoken to, it's very calculated, it's very scientific, their method to it. They're extremely cautious about how many grams of protein, how many grams of carbs, how many grams of fat, and there's a strategic kind of game plan. I've heard of people hiring coaches for thousands and thousands of dollars to get them to look in this very specific way in order to get the most amount of success on stage, right? Which is kind of like the proven track record that most bodybuilders will go down. But you've reached pinnacles of success in the bodybuilding circuit with, firstly, and probably the most significant hurdle for yourself is the Parkinson's disease. But then you're also looking at your self-taught, you're almost training by yourself. I'm sure you've got people helping you out, and you're starting your career very late in the process, and you're not on steroids. Yeah, no. Like,
well, I took a bit, like about 10 years ago, one cycle.
Right.
But basically being natural.
Okay, but I'm talking about, like, for bodybuilders, that's nothing. That's essentially clean.
Yeah.
So that, for you to walk away with all the success that you've had and to continue to thrive forward, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up for most people. But then you continue to beat the odds. You continue to push forward and you continue to find the success. So I'm very curious about your process. Like, what are you doing? What are you eating? How are you training?
Well, I'm eating a lot, like whatever basically comes to me, because I spend so much time in the gym. I spend so much time training. Like, I've got a set routine. Like, normally Monday do shoulders, Tuesday legs, Wednesday chest, Thursday back, Friday triceps, and then you got all your abdominal and cardio and all that stuff that I do. And I normally have 2 days off. One day 5-6 days gym, 4 or 5 day cardio sessions, then the abdominal training, and I incorporate all that. And I do mixture of I change my exercise routines around. I do strength, higher reps, hypertrophy, eccentric, giant sets, drop sets. You know, you just gotta like, and when in the gym, you know what gets me the huge pump, bro?
Tell me.
High energy dance music. I love when I walk in there.
Who are you listening to?
They put it on. As soon as I walk in there, the UFC gym guys at Rockdale, Marlon, the owner, legend, you know, all the staff, Fonny, all that. I gotta say, you guys are the best. I love you guys. You guys are the best. You look after me. UFC gym Rockdale, you are the best. You know, I walk in there, the music's already played, so it gives me that. That gives me that that passion to that. Yeah, I'm here. I'm ready to train, and how I do it is with the medication that I take for my Parkinson's. I always take them on time. I managed with Parkinson's. You get insomnia, so that's another thing that I'm like. I managed to get my sleep before I train.
What happens with Parkinson's? Like, why does it keep you up?
Well, it's what it does is you sleep 2 hours, 3 hours, then you're up for about 3-4 hours.
Really?
So, and because I'm on a lot of meds, I'm constantly getting up and during the night and going to the bathroom, sitting down, watching TV. You know, it's not like I miss the days where I used to have 8-9 hours sleep in one go, wake up, and it's like, well, I've had 9 hours, but I haven't had that in years.
Really?
But you want to know something else? Before the comp, I didn't sleep 3 nights before the comp. Before the comp, where I came third in the IFBB Nationals, I did not sleep for 3 nights. I did the weigh-in the day before. I went out with the missus the night before. We went out, had an all-nighter. I had the spray tan the next day coming off, and I still went on stage and did like the workouts at the back and went on stage. And you know what they did? They didn't play my song on time. So for 5 minutes, I was like there, or like on that stage, just waiting for my song to come on. And I thought I was going to pass out, but you know what? I did it. I just had that inner, I don't know. I didn't sleep for 3 days before.
So is the Parkinson's itself what keeps you up, or is it just the twitching? Is it just the involuntary movement?
It's probably the movement.
The movement, right.
But I have power naps during the day, like
you
know, if I'm sleeping in the car.
Because that can't be good for you, man. To only get 2 or 3 hours sleep at per go, like
but
you're not getting
lately. To be honest, the last 4 or 5 weeks, I've been getting really good sleep.
Well, that's good to hear.
So it's better because the sleep is where the gains are.
Yeah, exactly. You need that REM cycle. You need that. You know,
you need to recover. So people think that it's not what you do in the gym; it's what you do out of the gym.
Yeah,
how you're resting, how you're sleeping, how much water you've had, how much food you've had, how much sodium, how much salt, how much rest, protein. Like you could walk into the gym thinking that you're going to be good, and you have a bad. You feel flat, you feel cold.
Yeah,
you feel good pump days. Yeah, but you just do what you can, and you just gotta strive.
I think what you've really nailed down, and what I think a lot of people at home listening to this can kind of take away from you is that you've really honed in and mastered the elements of the game that you can control. You've really honed in and mastered your diet, even though you do have your days where you have cheat meals and whatnot. Like there's strategy behind it. There's purpose behind it. You're very in control of your workouts, and you're very motivated, and you listen to the same music. Like you have a very clear structure in the things that you can control, even though there's so many other elements that you can't.
Well, yeah, I just want to also speak for people out there with Parkinson's and look, you don't have to. I'm not saying for people with Parkinson's you have to train like me and be like Commando Steve or brutal or Commando type. I've just had that drive years doing doors and like wrestling and bringing that environment. But all I can say to you guys is I'm willing to help anyone with Parkinson's disease. If they want to reach out to me, I'm willing to train them for nothing, not for money, just for the love for them to get better. The elderly, anyone with Parkinson's disease, Parkinson's Research New South Wales, I'm willing to work with them. I'm willing to help people with disabilities. And look, I'm not going to judge you. I shake. I'm not, to say, I have times where at night I freeze up. And
what do you mean freeze up?
Freeze up like when the medication starts wearing off. So what happens is say I'm not shaking right now because I'm calm, I'm talking, I'm relaxed. If I don't take my medication on time, or if I don't have a good sleep, my left leg tremors and my left hand tremors. But when I'm in the gym, I make sure I control that. I don't let it happen because you just got to take your medication on time. You've just got to get as much rest as you can.
How much medication are you taking?
Well, I take 3 in the morning as soon as I wake up with my breakfast. Then I take another 2 just before gym, and another 6 during the day, and then another 1 before bed during the night.
So we're looking at 13.
Yeah, 13, 14
Whoa,
pills
on a daily basis.
Every day.
God damn.
Yeah.
That's an intense lifestyle to keep up. How is it? I know in Australia we're very blessed to live in a society where we have programs like NDIS and government funding programs where people with mental illnesses or physical illnesses or disabilities are taken care of. But I know firsthand, because my girlfriend actually works with NDIS, and I know firsthand a lot of people fall through the cracks. From your experience, how has it been accessing those medications? Because I imagine it's quite expensive as well.
Well, if it is very expensive. If I haven't got the healthcare card, I wouldn't be able to afford a job and to pay my medical expenses. Like, they cost unfortunate.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky that I'm part of the healthcare card, that I can get that pharmaceutical medication for me for very, very cheap. This is how they, normally it'd be costing a couple of close to $800 a month. And that's a lot of money for just medication.
Yeah.
But now I'm paying like $40-50 a month, which is perfect.
Yeah. We're very blessed to live in a country that has
100%.
those resources. I think we often take avenues like that for granted because it's very easy to shit on society, and it's very easy to crap on everything you see because there's a pothole on the road and a light hasn't been fixed and the lawn hasn't been mowed. But if you kind of just take a step back, never in human society have we treated people across the spectrum with ailments and issues with the amount of dignity, with the amount of respect, and with the amount of resources that we do right now. If you look back just 60, 70 years ago, we were electrocuting people. We were locking them up in cages and doing horrible things. This wasn't that long ago. Like, it's within certain people's lifetimes. And I think it's so important to give recognition where it's due and to acknowledge that, yes, we definitely still have work to do as a society, but we've definitely come a long way. And the fact that you do have those resources available really makes me so happy and so proud to be Australian, man, because that's so important.
Well, you're so right. If I was in a third world country, there wouldn't be any of this support.
Yeah.
That's why we're lucky to be living in Australia. Beautiful country, it's got all the things there for you.
Yeah.
Other places in the world, you don't get that. And I also want to tell people with the Parkinsons that, look, don't just sit there and let the disease beat you. Get up there and fight it. Try your best. Go for walks. Go for jogs. Go out there. Keep yourself occupied. Do your thing, whether it's weight training, whether if it's just go for walks, go for marathons, do whatever. Just
be active.
Be active. That's, sitting down and letting it eat you will just make you deteriorate. And if there's anyone out there that wants to reach out to me, they're more than welcome to reach out to me.
That's beautiful, man.
I'm willing to help out anyone with Parkinson's.
I want to
and also, I just want to mention, I want to be in contact with Dylan Walcott, Australian of the Year, that is in the disability.
Dylan Walcott?
Dylan Walcott, Australian of the Year.
Okay, Dylan Walcott, this is a personalized message straight for you. We're going to clip this and make it into an Instagram reel. Guys, I want you to blow this the fuck up, share it on your stories, do whatever you want. Dylan Walcott, I have a man right here who has a message for you right now. It's extremely important that you respond to him, so please do so. The floor is yours, my friend.
You're a legend, Dylan, and what you've achieved in the tennis and the disabilities, mate, I'm willing to work with you. Helping people with disabilities, going on Channel 10 morning show, Studio 10, Channel 9. Anyone, if you want to hear my story, Dylan, also, you've done so much with the tennis, and I respect you, brother. And you're also wanting to help people with disabilities you being in the disability advocate and all that. I'm willing to help, and it'd be good to also talk more on people with disabilities and
Absolutely.
sporting achievements.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people can find your story and find a lot of inspiration in that, my man. But I want to kind of veer back to your story now. So you've obviously had a lot of success in the bodybuilding circuit. You've competed locally, you've competed internationally. How did you find it going onto your first stage?
Well, actually, I've this will be my second comp.
Right.
Sorry, the one that I got the medal and the trophy there. That was the IFBB.
Do you want to show the people? I'll pass it over to you.
Yeah. So this is the bodybuilding physique third place medal, IFBB, and this is the IFBB Australia 2020 National Championships Classic Physique Novice third place. Now, I will be competing in the Classic Physique in the 2022, and it'll be in October, I believe. I don't know the exact correct date, October, but it'll be in Club Hurstville.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure. I think it's season B or season A, but it'll be on the website, the IFBB website. So I'll be also looking at doing my best to come first place.
Yeah.
And getting hopefully my pro card.
That would be amazing.
So I'll be also this comp 2 years ago. I was on the under 70s weight division. Now I'm also.
Can I see that?
Yeah. So now I'll be going on the 10 kilo heavier division. So 70 to 80 kilos. So on stage, that's.
This is amazing, man. This is such a testament to your work and your grit and your perseverance as a human being. I really, really respect you for this. A lot of people, don't ever get to rank on the IFBB Australian circuit, and the fact that you've done so with all the hurdles is just remarkable, man. You should be extremely proud. I want to know how, considering one of the side effects of Parkinson's is that you do have these like irritable movements and you can't control the left side. I think you said it was the left side, right?
Yeah, left leg and left hand.
How did you find posing on stage?
Posing on stage helps.
Really?
It helps because the movements. It's kind of like when you do yoga. Yoga's very good too.
Yeah.
Yoga. I did yoga before the competition. And first time, but you know what? It actually helps. Arnie did it from pumping iron. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He did that and ballet as well.
Yeah, and also I like to say, medicinal marijuana helps. Medical marijuana.
Interesting.
It helps with so people in the medical marijuana.
Yeah,
it does really good.
That's
helps
really
calm
interesting.
You, relax you. It's very good. I really like it.
So when you're on stage, it's obviously there's an audience of people watching you, and there's judges and there's photographers, I presume, as well. And for most people, it's a nerve-wracking experience. Did you find yourself able to hold the positions well and like be still in those moments? Because there is a very smooth transition process that happens with bodybuilding.
Well, there is, but I had to, because you got to remember, I didn't sleep 3 days before my comp.
Yeah.
So I was shaking a lot. So what the boys did for me at the back in my corner is my mates is they gave me my Parkinson's medication to control the tremors, because I was shaking a fair bit. Like even though I was doing my light push-ups and pump sessions at the back to come on stage and to look pumped, I managed to make sure I was had my fluids and my rice crackers. You have the rice crackers,
Yeah.
You do the push-ups, you do the rubber bands and all that, and you're shaking. But then when you come on stage, you've just got to switch on.
Right.
And do your best poses. And it was my first time on stage, and I did all right for my poses. But because it was my first, now I know what's to come for this second comp. I'm more prepared because that was all about the first comp.
Yeah, there's novelty.
Yeah, so now I know what's to be expected for this
Right.
comp, and I'm I'm going in a heavier category. So I'm going to the 70 to 80 kilo category. And I want to do my best. And hopefully, whatever I come. At the day, I just want to do my best on stage. Whether I come first, second, third, doesn't matter. As long as I'm up there and I give it 100% and I give it my best and do my best, I'll be happy with the result.
And so
because
you should
IFBB
be.
is very competitive.
It is extremely competitive.
There are people there without Parkinson's. Like, I'm not saying there's people out there that don't have Parkinson's that end up pulling out of the competition because of the pressures, and they don't have Parkinson's.
Yeah.
You know? So mentally, you've got to be there mentally.
I think the fact that you have Parkinson's has actually fortified your mind to make sure that you are impenetrable. And that, like, dude, just listening to you talk about this and your journey it's inspiring. Like, I feel like it's fuel for me. Like, I feel like I've got fire now. Like, I want to go and do 100 push-ups and get on the stage and go, rah, you know, and it's really empowering that you've been able to create this mindset around you. Have there been any setbacks? Like, I imagine, especially with your family and your personal life, when you've gone from being completely healthy for how old were you when you discovered?
Oh, well, I was 30, I'll be 39, so I'll be 40 next year in February, in 9th February. So.
And you've been diagnosed for how many years now? 7. So you've lived at least 30 years of your life, a relatively healthy and quote unquote normal life. And that must be a very big shift for your partner, for your family, for your friends. Like, what was their response to it? How did they react once the news had come out?
Well, they were all shattered and upset, but then they know that they know that how I am. I just keep going. I've just got that. I'm not going to stop. I'm not just going to say, well, I've been diagnosed with Parkinson's. I'm just always going to be me. You know? Whatever I do in life, whether it's working, whether if it's, I'll always stand up and do my best to do the best, to strive and to be the best and to do what I can to stay alive, to stay fit, to stay happy, to stay fit, to stay strong. Because no one knows when the time's up. You know, you don't know. You don't take nothing with you, bro. When the time goes, you know, you just got to live your life, be happy that you've got good health, good family, a bunch of friends, support. And I would like to say I love the support, the people that come up to me at the gym and just say, wow, you know, you look amazing. You know, that makes me more motivated, more willing to help a lot more other people. When they say, you've got Parkinson's and you look like that? Wow, that's no excuse. I was like, man, thanks, bro. They're like good people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if it's someone's first day in the gym, I'm willing to help them. I'm willing to help anyone with it, you know. So I've just got that good support, you know, everywhere I go, you know. They're like, oh, can we get a photo selfie with you, bro? Yeah. Like, yeah.
That's amazing, man. That's so beautiful. You did touch on there though, and I think that's a very impactful statement that you did make, that when you do go, you don't take anything with you. It's the impact that you have on the people around you that lives on. It's your friends, it's your family, it's the people that support you and admire you. It's the influence that you have on their lives. Is death something you think about? Is that something that...
Well, no, not really, because you don't want it, because I have a 6-7-year-old daughter. I want to see her grow up, but you don't know. What I'm trying to say is, I don't know if you go to sleep one night whether you're going to wake up tomorrow. But you just got to be there and enjoy life as much as you can, you know, because we don't know how long we're here for. You know?
Yeah.
No one knows. No one can say, you know, I'll be alive for another 5-10 years. That is like, you just got to live your life.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to live it to the most. You know, do things that make, you know, stress is a big killer. Now, I've stressed out a lot. I'm not going to say I haven't stressed. There's things that, you know, everyone goes through their times in their life where they're stressed out, whether it's family and certain things, but everyone's got that little things that bothers them. But you know what you got to do? You've got to try to work it in your head how you're going to manage your training, because if I think about all the stresses and all the negatives, it's going to have a huge impact on my training and it's going to put me off. So I've got to think for my family, my missus, my daughter, and just do my best to stay positive and motivated and happy and strong. And that's what you've got to be thinking and doing. Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. Talk to me about this magazine. You've brought a magazine with you today. It is the Muscle Health magazine, and you were featured in it. I'm going to show everyone the photo of you right here. I mean, this is you in peak physical condition. When was this taken?
That was 2 years ago, Novotel, Brighton.
Is that even framed, Tian? Just so the people can see it.
Living and competing with Parkinson's disease.
I mean, the fact that you had this article written about you is awesome, man. That's how did this opportunity come about?
Well, Paul Graham and Caroline Graham are the founders of Australian. Like they've been in the IFBB. They've been in the Paul Graham and Carol Graham. Paul Graham is Arnold Schwarzenegger's friend.
Really?
And he does the organising of the IFBB competitions. And
right.
Caroline Graham, they're the one. They gave me that. They did the article. They got me on there, and I'd like to thank them.
Mm.
And through City Gym sponsors like Billy Konikis, the staff at City Gym have been great. The gym, Strive Gym, Marrickville, and UFC Gym, Rockdale, the best. They've always had my back. These gyms are coming out to me and saying, we want to sponsor you, and I have to thank Marlon from UFC Rockdale, Billy from City Gym.
Right. Have you had any other kind of media opportunities before this? Have people reached out to you for interviews?
I've had SBS documentary. I've done a Fight for My Life with Parkinson's Disease on SBS.
What was that experience like?
That was good. Yeah, they did a day at City Gym before the competition. They came for the video photo shoot for the City Gym session, the training session. They did the Maroubra Snap Fitness because I was training at Maroubra Snap Fitness. They did a short documentary on Snap Fitness. That was before my comp. And we did an outdoor training session at Heffron Oval, like a bit of boxing, running around, and just bit of outdoors recreation.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it was just very based around kind of filming content and getting to know your story a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they did that, and that was on the feed, SBS feed.
Right.
Yeah.
And how did you find the experience of being publicized like that and having a platform to share your story? Because I think I don't know of many other bodybuilders that have Parkinson's and do compete at the level that you do compete. I think that's very unique. I think it provides a very almost like a northern star that people can follow, and that other people that do suffer with Parkinson's can aspire to.
Well, I want to inspire to everyone with all disabilities. Like, you got to put your mind to it. Like, look what Dylan's done for the disability. Talk about what he's done for the disability people. And there's a lot of disability people that can move out there in sports, whether it's cycling. There's a lot of the Paralympics, the Paralympians. They've done enormous, amazing things, Now, like myself, I'm going to do my best with, like, I'll be 40, but I'll still be competing bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I'll still be going. I'll still be, I'm not going to stop playing my sports. I'm still going to be playing my football. I'm going to be playing for Pagewood next year, over 35s for football.
I have to say, I do not want to cross you on the football field. That is for sure. That'd be terrifying. What position do you play?
I play striker.
Oh, of course you do.
Yeah, striker.
Far out. You're a goalkeeper's worst nightmare. Can you imagine having to, as a centre back, trying to mark him? That would be nuts.
So what it is I'm the type of guy that you want to, I tell the coach, you put me on as a sub.
Yeah.
Put me on the 75th minute or 70th minute, where 15, 20 minutes before the end of the game, and I'll cause destruction. And there'll be a lot like a backup. I won't play a full game.
Right.
I'll be sitting there. I'll have my protein shake, my chicken sandwich, my juice or whatever, my orange.
Before you go on the field?
And then when I get the energy, I'll go on the field and I'll cause havoc.
You just cause havoc.
Yeah.
I love
score
it.
goals and do celebrations.
Do you follow football as well?
Yeah, I do.
Who is your team?
Premier League, Man United.
No.
Who do you support?
I was liking you up until
Who
there.
do you support?
Liverpool, baby.
Liverpool,
the whole way through.
And I'm excited about the World Cup, and you're going to the World Cup.
I am going to the World Cup.
Man,
That's
can
correct.
I come? Have you got a ticket for me, bro? Where's my ticket? I'll come with you.
100%. Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
I would love to. Honestly, if we could organize something, I would love to have you come along with us to the World Cup. We're going to go watch all the Uruguay games, and I went to the last World Cup in Russia.
Oh.
And it was such a phenomenal experience. And I know Russia's kind of been painted in this light right now, where it's seen as, this horrible country that no one wants to even talk about. But from my first-hand experience and meeting the people there and getting invited into their homes and sharing vodka with them and talking and having all these crazy stories from that country, I have to say, I really have become such a fan of the people, not necessarily the politics, but the people. The Russian people are some of the coolest people to hang out with. They really are. And having that experience to a country that I knew nothing about, to being like, when can we go back? When can we go back? Just made me want to follow the World Cup, and I want to go to every World Cup that does happen. So the next one's going to be in Qatar. It's going to be really interesting because there's a big cultural shift again. There's going to be no alcohol. There's going to be limited servicing of alcohol. There's, really, they're a lot stricter over there on their people. But again, I'm really looking forward to that new experience and being able to watch Uruguay win the World Cup hopefully this time round.
Why not? And, Uruguay have got Suarez.
That's exactly right, man.
And, Qatar's a nice place.
Yes, it is. It is beautiful. Nice, it's very beautiful. Hot. Yes, well, that's why they're doing it in the winter. They're getting into a lot of problems of trying to do that into the summer. You're Afghani, aren't you?
Yeah. From Afghanistan,
born in Australia, right? Yeah. I imagine your dad immigrated over to Australia.
Yeah, my father came here in the early 70s.
Okay.
And then my mum came along, and then they got married.
What was Afghanistan like during that period?
Oh well, it was before the Russian war.
Right.
Before the war with the Russians.
So it was fairly peaceful.
So when my father came, he knew something was happening in Afghanistan before the Russians came in, and he came here, sponsored the family, the relatives, and he came here. I was born here. I've never been back to it.
Did he
Kabul,
sense? Does he sense that there was tension arising in Afghanistan? Is that why he moved?
Yeah.
Because my parents made a similar play. My mum in particular, she came over to Australia when she was 4 years old, and at the time Uruguay was just slipping into a dictatorship. So they fled the country. My dad came later on, but I found it I think as an immigrant of a different country, and you kind of learn about your own country or your own background rather through the lens of your parents, is always an interesting experience. Do you identify yourself as Afghani?
Yeah, I do.
Do you embrace that culture?
I love the culture. I love the food.
Yeah. What kind of food are you guys into? What do Afghanis eat?
We do dumplings, meat dishes.
Oh, really?
Mixed shish kebabs, rice dishes. Nice food.
Yeah.
Kabir, the UFC champion.
Yeah.
In his documentary, he goes, Afghan food is the best.
Really?
Yeah.
I love Khabib. He's the best. He's the GOAT.
Yeah. He's a legend. And look, you from Montevideo? Is it Montevideo?
Yes, that's right.
Montevideo, yeah.
I'm surprised you knew that.
Yeah, the capital city of Uruguay.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
I feel horrible now. I don't know the capital city of Afghanistan. Kabul,
yeah.
Kabul, right.
Yeah,
how...
It's sad what's going on there.
I was just about to ask you that. How do you react, and how does your dad react seeing all the images that have kind of come out of Afghanistan.
It's sad because, before the rush, well, if you look at Afghanistan, they've had war for over, since 77, no, 78, before 76 till now. So you could just imagine a country for war for so many years, civil war, the Taliban, the Northern Alliance, the Mujahideen fighters and all that. It's just, you just feel for the innocent people and the poverty, the things that are going on there, that, the people jumping out of the planes trying to escape the country.
That was horrible footage when it came out, man.
Horrible footage.
Broke
very,
my
very
heart.
Sad. Broke my heart. That's why luckily we're the best country. People got to understand that, we are lucky in this country.
Yeah.
We're lucky to be Australian.
Did your dad have family over there?
Yeah, but most of them are out in.
They got out?
Germany, Australia, Canada, all parts around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine the pain and the devastation and the fear that would be like to live in a country with such unrest.
Also, I'd like to be proud that, as an Australian Afghan, like, I'm proud to do these achievements, what I've done.
Of course.
For the Afghan community as well. For
representing your heritage with so much pride, man. War is a shitty thing, man. It's so devastating. There's no winners that come out of it. Even the country that wins, let's call it, has so many years of repairing and so many years of, trying to rebuild itself again. And I can't imagine what it would be like to live in a country where for the past 50 years, it's just been one wave after another after another. It's heartbreaking, man.
Yeah, very heartbreaking, bro. Just there's so many people out there are worse off. It's sad. Breaks my heart. They got no bread, no clean water, no food, no clothing, no shelter. And the latest earthquake that they had there, which was not long ago, where there's just no resources, and the Taliban are reaching out to the world saying, "Come help us," and they're not used to running a country, So things are pretty bad there, very bad, and just pray for the people for Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my understanding of the geopolitics of that region is really limited, but was the US pulling out of Afghanistan kind of like the catalyst for the Taliban to really just seize the whole country? Is that really what happened?
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, America spent so much money for the reconstruction of Afghanistan, and where the money goes, no one really knows what's happening with what happened with the money for the reconstruction. Why they're there? People say, the minerals and the opium. Most of the drugs are 90% of Afghans' opium poppy fields are distributed around the world, around London and around all parts around Europe and all that. So, and the gold, minerals, diamonds, because it's a mountain, it's got a lot of resources.
It's a very resource-rich country.
You want to know something interesting about Afghanistan? A lot of people don't know about.
Absolutely, tell me.
Do you know how many types of grapes there are in Afghanistan?
How many types of grapes are there in Afghanistan?
100 types of grapes.
I didn't even know there was 100 types of grapes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's insane to think how such a small country is just so resource rich, and it's a shame to see Afghanistan being pilgrimaged the way it is for political gain, for political influence and resources, because it's got so much potential. There's so much wealth in that country, and the people could be thriving at such a high level. It's I really hope it gets cleaned up. I really hope everything levels out. I think with a lot of the attention being shifted away from that region towards the Ukraine, I think there is a pocket of time in which Afghanistan can look at rebuilding. But I'm extremely, and I want to say this with absolute clarity, I'm extremely limited in my knowledge and understanding of that region. Like, it's just not something I've dedicated a lot of time to.
Yeah, it's what you're saying about Ukraine as well. The world is becoming just a lot of things are happening around the world. You got the COVID, the World War, the climate change, the weather system patterns, and everything.
The thing with the climate change issues and the weather patterns and whatnot is that's somewhat Mother Nature being in place, and of course humans have an influence on that. But when you look at one country invading another country or one country bombing another country, that's just direct human impact. Like, there's no denying that missile went from that plane to land on that country and kill hundreds, if not thousands, of people in the process. And the frustrating part that I find with this is that there is a select group of people, private military contractors and weapons manufacturers and politicians, that are incentivized to keep these wars going on for as long as possible. It's completely undeniable that the industrial military complex is a real thing for the United States. They sell trillions and trillions of dollars worth of weaponry and tanks and submarines and missiles to all these NATO member countries, and you could definitely make a case to say that it's to protect democracy and it's to protect, and protect the countries that are involved in those alliances. But it's almost like we're incentivized now to continually fight these proxy wars on turfs like Afghanistan, on turfs like Ukraine. Because my real prediction on the Ukraine is that this isn't going to be solved in a 5 to 10 month period. I think this goes on for years and years and years. And I think the reason for that is because select individuals are going to profit so much from just being able to sell more and more and more.
That's all it comes down to, is money and power, leaders in the United Nations and countries coming in and trying to resolve, but then there's no, you're looking at some leaders like out there, like, there's other countries out there that are, watching what's going on. Like, you got North Korea, you got Iran, you got China, you got Israel, you got all these other countries that are just seeing what's going on around
Absolutely.
the world.
And they're just picking like, which way are we going to sway with this?
There could be we don't want, you never know. No one knows what can happen, but let's hope not. Like, let's hope not, right?
Because,
and there's people's lives, that's,
Yeah, that's what it boils down to at the end of the day, is that and I just want to make crystal clear, I feel like I don't have to, but just in case someone might misinterpret this, I understand that what's going on in Ukraine is heartbreaking and it's disgusting to witness. The footage that has come out from that situation, the fact that Putin feels like he has the right to go and invade a sovereign country, the geopolitical history behind that is extremely complex and extremely nuanced, but the answer is never missiles towards hospitals or schools or buildings. That's never the answer. And I think both sides should just stay the fuck out of it and let Ukraine sort itself out. I don't know how we ended up here in conversation, if I'm honest with you. That's all right, bro. I kind of just want to leave this on more of a positive note and give you the opportunity and kind of the floor to spread your last message. So you're an extremely ambitious guy, clearly. You're extremely competitive and you love to win and you don't let anything get in the way of your success.
Yeah, like as I said, like I'm just like happy to, whatever I do, like whatever I train, I like to train hard.
Yeah.
I like to work out. I like to have fun. I like to be very competitive. I like to do my best. I like to always help others.
Yeah.
I also like to motivate people. Easily when people get results, I write them up programs and that, and they get happy, and it makes me happy knowing that they're doing they're saying, they're coming up to me and going, Massud, this is what I've done. This is what I've achieved. Like, good on you.
Yeah.
I get happy.
I want to know, on your level, what's the end game for you? What's the level of success that you have to achieve to go, you know what, I made it?
I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, and I just love it because I just love training. Like, someone says to me, like the boys used to muck around. They used to come. We used to smoke a joint here and there during the night, and all of my mates would come around, and it's like, There's Massud, he's doing push-ups. He's doing like 100 push-ups. He's doing chin-ups. Like this guy's going to the park to play soccer at 4 o'clock in the morning. He's mad. Bro, that's me.
Does the weight help you sleep?
Yeah, it helps me sleep, but it gives me energy as well.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I just have like a lot of energy.
Yeah.
I think it's because I'm always hyped. I don't know. I've got that like that drive. Like, you know, give me some few dumbbells right now. We'll go bench press.
There's one more thing I wanted to ask you, and it's just not It's not falling into place. It's always when you're in the middle of a sentence. I hate when that happens.
Yeah, I know.
You know, as soon as we end this, it's gonna hit me.
Yeah.
It's gonna hit me. But yeah, dude, I think there it is. Bingo.
You got it. Yeah.
We got it. We caught it. So I recently interviewed a friend of mine who represents Riley's gym. His name's I always mix their names up. Jimmy Sadek, right? Jimmy Sadek. Apologies, Jimmy. Do you know Jimmy Sadek?
Is he related to
Sadek,
Ivan Sadek?
Yes, that's correct.
I'm mates with I've worked with Joe Sadek.
There you go.
Yeah. We used to work at Sun Security, Mr. B's Hotel.
Have you heard about the NMES device, the Newbie Fit?
No, but I've trained at Riley's gym.
Okay, cool. I really want you guys to get in contact. I don't know how we're going to make it happen, but what Jimmy is kind of invested in, and he's brought on Adam Van Spanje as well, who's very well known in the peptide world and very well known in the peptide business. Are we rolling on that one? Okay. We're going to wrap this up very quickly. They have these devices that essentially target your neurological system, all the nerves that go throughout your body and your brain, and they're almost able to train your nerves to behave in a certain way and train your nerves to, you know, depending on the outlook you're looking for, whether you're trying to improve muscle mass or improve mobility or improve control. And I'd be really interested to see if they could mitigate some of the effects that you do have with Parkinson's. I don't know for a fact whether it will work or not, but I really think there's an opportunity here for you. And I'm definitely going to reach out to them and do so. We've had them on, and they've wired me up to the device, so it's legit, it's safe. Like there's nothing to worry about. And
I'm willing to give it a go. Yeah,
I think it would be awesome.
Yeah. I'm always.
Listen, Massud, I really appreciate you coming out. I really appreciate the time you've committed to this and the message that you put out there for the people. I think you're going to act as fuel and fire, and I definitely know after this podcast I'm going to go run 20 kilometers and do 500 push-ups. That's your camera right there. If people do want to get in contact with you or reach out, if they want to share their story, what's the best way of doing so?
I've got to get my thing up and running.
Guys, I will leave in the description down below a link to Massud's social media profiles when he does get around to making them. I definitely want you, if you do suffer with Parkinson's or if you do have some form of disability and you are looking for a bit of guidance in terms of improving your health or your training, or you just want some inspiration, I'd highly, highly, highly recommend that you check out your social medias. You've got an amazing story, brother. I really appreciate you coming onto the show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, man.
And Chorizo Chasers, the best at Wetherell Park. Check them out. They're the best food, the best chorizos, the best steaks, the best burgers, everything. Go there. Check it out.
Mum and Dad, I will be sending you an invoice for that ad. Thank you very much, guys. Remember to subscribe if you haven't done so already. I mean, what are you even doing? This is the #1 podcast in the world. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you. See you next time.